Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Dyer of Miskatonic. Today I have a very special announcement. Last night we crossed over 15,000 subscribers, and I want to thank each and every one of you, my subscribers and viewers, for helping me achieve that milestone. Every time you share, comment, view, and subscribe, you're helping me build a channel, and it's your requests, suggestions, and feedback that help us build a better channel. I'd like to thank each and every one of you. I know I don't know all of you, but many of you have offered suggestions and requests and shared my channel, and I want to thank you. And in return for hitting 15,000, I want to put something back into the system. A new, relatively new, and unknown YouTuber named Ruben ASMR. I remember the name. I'm really bad with names. And he's a wonderful young lad from the United Kingdom. He just started out. He only has about 50, 60 subscribers at this time. If you want to help, check him out, put something back in the system, go to his channel and sub and maybe leave a nice comment. He spoke glowingly of me in his favorite ASMR video. And I was taken back. I really was. I was surprised how nice he was. And I could shout out some people who are a lot bigger and have helped me a lot in different ways. But I wanted to shout out the smallest, nicest, quietest YouTuber I could find, and that was Ruben. And the reason being is, for the least of mine you do for me. There was a time when I was nobody and a lot of people helped me. And I mean nobody by nobody knew me, not a nobody in my heart. I knew if I took the time to do this, people would come around. If I just kept talking. So that's my message now to Ruben as he's starting out his channel. Someday we'll look back maybe and we'll laugh. And we'll talk about how cool it is that he has 10,000 subscribers, or 20, and that'll be a fun day. And we'll say we remember when he had nothing, but he wasn't nothing. He was somebody waiting to happen. But you're never going to reach that milestone, Ruben. You're never going to reach it. That day's never going to happen unless you keep talking. Don't give up. Okay? And with that said, I now present you a very special ASMR experience. Dr. Andrew Michaels revisits the lost city of the Elder Gods at the Mountains of Madness. Lamont Cranston, the Shadow, the Pulp Fiction hero, the Shadow, and his dedicated crew, Harry, Margot, flew with me and my assistant Amy over the high Himalayan heights of the hidden mountain range that disguises the lost city of the Elder Gods. We flew over this mountain range in his custom auto gyro. Though there was heat in the cabin, it was impossible to stay warm. We were frozen to the core. I explained to the shadow and his crew that I had to approach the city alone, by myself. For one, if we came as a group, they would see us as objects to study, to examine, and they would kill all but one of us. And the second reason I had to travel alone to the city of the Elder Gods, past these mountains of madness, was because what lie before me would drive anyone insane upon viewing the horrors of the ancients was too strong for the human psyche. No one must go with me. I must go alone. And as fate would have it, a Shoggoth sentry met me at the edge of this forgotten, hidden city and took me below ground, out of the frozen wastes of deepest Antarctica. The leather of my protective armor that I wore for this occasion was hardened by the cold and brittle. I could feel it becoming more supple as I warmed both inside and out. The heat magnifying from the walls of the caverns, a system of energy dispersal we as humans have yet to attain. I found myself deep inside the kingdom of the forgotten Elder Gods, among their minions that were left behind a millennium ago. The Shoggoths defy reason. They defy sanity. A collection of eyes and appendages the size of subway trains, moving along the walls, moving along the ground, defying the laws of gravity in their locomotion. How they resemble those aforementioned trains in size, girth, and speed. An immovable object, an unstoppable object, once moving. The Shoggoths were a terror for me to behold, and I, in my paltry armor, surrender to them as they bring me to their lead minion. Not quite a leader. He is still under the control and auspices of the Elder Gods. But while they are away in the ocean, underneath the snow and ice, a hidden ocean even further removed from this city, they rule themselves. A blasphemy of the Elder Gods and their teachings. Not a true government, not a true independence and freedom, but some nightmarish pseudo copy of that which they had grown accustomed to. The lead Shoggoth was a mouth of teeth and tentacles stretching out across the tunnel they brought me to. He beckoned me forward. What little grasp of sanity my mind still retained, I felt myself surrounded. Yes, as you can see around me, the shoggoths around me, every corner filled, every nook and cranny, a shoggoth waiting, all repeating over and over again their pathetic command word, Tekeli-li, 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 Tekeli-li. My ears covered with protective hearing devices to prevent them from damaging my psyche through my auditory canals. My eyes covered with a protective lens to protect me as best as possible and still allow me to see. I was at their beck and call. I had no choice in the matter. I must do as the Shoggoth command. Unable to touch anything, my gloves made of Kevlar armor and my body covered the same. Only my head remained. The last thing that marked me as a true human. They could see me differently than I could see them, though they were horrors on a scale of primitive, primordial life, like nothing you could imagine. I was as strange to them as they were to me. The blood coursing through the circulatory system of my body, it came out through the heat of my head, my scalp, my cheeks, every corpuscle of my body visible to their strong, dominant eyes. They saw me as such a bastion of life, a strange automaton, not quite a living thing, no, a frozen robot in one form, one body, one image, the image of my supposed maker, with my two appendages for grasping and my two appendages for walking. To them, I was a machine, not even a creature of living flesh and blood. And how else could they perceive me? How else could they see a human who they had seen only once before, when the Miskatonic College trip to the lost city beyond the mountains of madness were destroyed and all the people from Arkham killed? How else would their collective consciousness and mind interpret a human being but as an individual, strange creature, and not more of a tribal animal, a spreading colony of ants across the world? They saw humans as individual abominations, not as a greater part of a hive, and a hive mentality, as one human leads another and another and another and another and another, and we all go to Tekeli-li, 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 Tekeli-li. We all go together. Tekeli-li, 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 Tekeli-li. And they understood not that humans
humans of the elder gods, always stuck in their bastard formation, their blasphemy to life of the universe, forming and unforming appendages, eyes, brains, bodies, sexually reproducing, asexually reproducing, doing whatever nature called, thinking they are the epitome, the top of the food chain of the evolutionary ladder, when in this case they are nothing more than the lowest of amoebas, the lowest of bacterium, the lowest of all creation, nothing but a gigantic germ upon the world. And you can hear the slow train of human progress in the distance as it interrupts and shatters the dreamlike state of the Shoggoth. All these thousands and thousands of miles away, the Shoggoth can hear that locomotion whistle blowing, that horn of creation, that horn of invention, that whore of humanity spreading out its tracks upon the world. Soon there will be trains in locomotion, mechanical, iron, full of oil, full of coal, spreading across the Antarctic wasteland, spreading their tracks, spreading their veins across the world, bleeding out across this frozen world, this kingdom of the elder gods, and the Shoggoth are unable to stop this train of progress, this train of the humanity. Though they resemble, they train the locomotion, the size of the engine of that creation. The Shoggoth are few in number now, few in creation, not able to withstand the movements of the ant-like humans across the world and across the globe. This is their destiny, to be destroyed by humanity, washed over like the amoeba with the antibacterial soaps of their own creation. What are the Shoggoth's weaknesses? Very simple. They are arrogant beyond belief, questioning Dr. Andrew Michaels, using their psychic energies to peel back the onion layers of his mind, and seeing all of which we have spoken of before. They fear him not, thinking his humanity, his Manhattan Island, his skyscraper, his aeroplane, his submarine, all a fantasy invention of his mind, a delusional dream, something in between a night terror and a lucid dream. They think Dr. Andrew Michaels came alone, and they are wrong. As he spoke to the Shoggoths, Dr. Andrew Michaels searched amongst them for signs of the hidden alien pilot he had come to retrieve. Is he amongst them? Can I communicate with them? Are they like the elder gods as before? The ones I cut my hand and bled my blood and formed a treaty with? Yes, long-time viewers of the works of Dr. Andrew Michaels will remember his treaty with the elder gods, and how he stopped an invasion with the help of those who came before humanity on Earth, how he communicated non-verbally with the elder gods, and how they strained to vocalize the words sure mankind knew the intent of the surviving elder gods, Dr. Andrew Michaels would have no problem showing the Shoggoth they can harm him not, for he has a treaty with the elder gods. I do not command you, creatures of this world, but you will comply. You will comply to my commands. Tekeli-li, 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 and we all go in together. And he pulled his gloves away to show his flesh, to show his fingers, to show his hands. And the Shoggoth feared Dr. Andrew Michaels. They feared his arrogance, his control over them, his courage in the face of insanity. And he reached inside his coat, pulling back his armor and something he held over his heart. I didn't come alone. Mimicking his genetic structure, Dr. Andrew Michaels brought forward a piece of Tetsuo, the Iron Man, to help him recognize and find the one they call the pilot of the lost alien race landed on this world 20,000 years before. And with the help of Tetsuo, he indeed could find the lost pilot amongst the Shoggoth host. And the leader was infuriated that Dr. Andrew Michaels would not come alone to this world, and he tried to kill Dr. Andrew Michaels. But this too would be a mistake, for as the leader of the Shoggoth closed in on Dr. Andrew Michaels, in his other hand he produced the Tesla device of his fame, pointing it at the Shoggoth leader. He dissolved him and sent him away to the dreamland that imagined him once many millennium ago. Are there any more of you wishing to join your leader at the beginning of creation? I see there are no more takers, so I will put this away. And I ask you now, Shoggoth host, let me have the alien pilot that I came for. Let me take him back to my world, where he can have peace and rest, and a warrior's reward for what he has done. Separate him from your minions. Separate him from your host. Let him have the freedom. Though he be a mimic of evolution like yourselves, he is not alone. The surviving members of his race, they need him. They need the comfort of his mind, so they can build their own hive, so they can build their own world of peace. A warrior's reward. Shoggoth DNA he had mimicked. And the alien pilot became whole again, his original creation through the help of Tetsuo. And they learned together of Neo-Tokyo and the rise of the other Tetsuo, the evil one, and the one they called Akira, and how they must stop them. And the alien pilot's eyes rose to meet Dr. Andrew Michael's gaze as he stepped forward from the Shoggoth host, as he stepped forward from his former home, his former family. The shapeshifters wept as he walked the distance towards the blasphemic, powerful human who came amongst them, the one they called Dr. Andrew Michaels. And the alien pilot said to Dr. Andrew Michaels, "Thank you, my new friend. Though you know we must go to Neo-Tokyo to stop the one they call Akira, the one they call Tetsuo the Evil. There is another one, the plant, the one who mimics the plants at the base of the tip of the continent, Antarctica. As I came here to the mountains of madness to join the Shoggoth, he went to the coast to escape Antarctica, and he melted with the plant life of the botanist at that station. There is another part of me, and he thinks he's a plant, and he's invasive, and he wishes to destroy humanity. We must go there first. Take me there, Dr. Andrew Michaels." And together they proceeded to leave across the frozen mountains ranges, back to the waiting autogyro, back to the shadow, Margot,